Hello all, welcome to the second episode of the IPL previews on One Pitch Catch. We'll cover the next set of three teams today, starting off with GT, Gujarat Titans. Um, I'll start off with some observations of mine, then Ganesh, feel free to chime in like you did last time. I think it seemed like a pretty sorted lineup. Batting looks decent, especially with the addition of Josh Butler. Spin is pretty good. They have, yeah, thanks for displaying the team. The spin is pretty good. They have Rashid, they have Washington. Pace is, I think the seam bowling is a little dicey. They have Rabada, they have Siraj, and they also have Ishant Sharma, who's been around for a very, very long time. It was surprising to see that he's still getting picked. They also have Prasid Krishna, but he's a big condition supply mostly, uh, if he's fit. Ganesh, any other observations? There's a bunch of other names like Tewatia, Sudarshan, Sai Sudarshan.
Yes, I mean their spin seems to be covered pretty much well with Rashid, Sai Kishore, Sundar, and even if they play Glenn Phillips, he can bowl 1 or 2 overs.
Yeah,
Even
Glenfield, yeah.
yeah, Glenn Phillips can throw 1 or 2 overs. So all these things, I mean, their spin seems to be pretty much covered. And playing in Ahmedabad, they need some pace bowlers. I mean, going over the period of time that we have seen IPL and unlimited over games there, we need some fast bowlers. They have it. I think Rabada and Siraj and Koedze can do a good job there. Uh, but I'm not sure how they will fit in when you have to stick to just four foreigners, because Rashid, Rabada, and Butler seem to be a certainty.
Correct.
Because I think a lot of their fortunes are going to depend on how Butler and Gill are going to open and score the runs. Is something. I mean, of course, Sai Sudarshan
Uh,
and others have scored runs too. Sai Sudarshan has been phenomenal for the GT, and he's gone on to do better things because of his GT performances. But I think it obviously depends a lot on Josh Butler and Gill. And Josh Butler, if I don't know if Butler would be keeping, or if they have to fit
yeah,
in Kushagra or Anuj Rawat to keep. One of
mm,
them, both of them are keepers too. So
right.
Kushagra or Anuj Rawat also they have to fit in. I mean, and also the middle over finishers. I mean, I see a lot of. I mean, like Rahul Tewatia,
Yeah,
Shahrukh towards the end. No, those kind of finishes there. And Ishant Sharma. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Ishant Sharma. But last year for DC, he bowled extremely well. I mean, though he was not picked for all games initially, and then he was
yeah,
slowly picked, but he bowled extremely well along with Mukesh for DC last year. This year, I mean, obviously, I don't know how he's going to do, but I think he still has it in him to deliver 1 or 2 good performances.
right,
Maybe not getting the purple cap or anything like that, but I think he
right.
still has it in him. And I'll be very surprised to how I'll be very intrigued to see how they are going to fit in Koedze or Sherfane Rutherford or Glenn Phillips into the 11, because all of them
Mm,
have been doing well. Koedze has been doing well. He bowls
yeah,
really good fast bowling, and
yeah,
uh, at down the order he can hit a few lusty blows as well. And
right.
Sherfane Rutherford has improved by leaps and bounds in terms of his T20 batting. And
Mm,
I mean, Glenn Phillips, we all know what we can do recently. We've seen, all of us have seen. So,
yeah,
in terms of that, I am very keen to see how they are going to fit in the fourth foreigner there. Uh, and one other thing that last year I personally felt was Gill's captaincy was not up to the mark. I felt last year, after 2 years of Hardik Pandya's captaincy. I mean, it's probably unfair to compare Hardik's captaincy and Gill's captaincy, because they are two different personalities and things like that. And obviously, the GT, after doing so well in the first 2 years, it was especially after Hardik leaving towards the
mm,
end and all those things, they were bound to not make it to the playoffs. Uh, but I think Gill could have been. I mean, this year he might be better because he's been given the India vice captaincy. He has led India to
yeah.
T20 teams here and there, so he could have changed. But I am looking forward to see a better captaincy show from
Okay.
Gill this time.
Just that assertiveness, basically, almost like marking his team
Yeah,
in its signature, basically.
yeah. I didn't. I mean, I think he was still playing as Gill the batter
Yeah,
more than the captain is something that I assume that Gill will would have improved this year, obviously. So I mean, like you said, Prasidh Krishna is a good choice, but again, I don't know how fit he will be given the history of his injury concerns.
I
So
think Coetzee also was not. Oh, I mean, he missed the Champions Trophy, and I think he missed a couple of
yeah, he
series
has. I
for
mean,
that
he
also.
also has injury concerns. But I think he's right now cleared to play the IPL. I think that's what I.
Okay, okay.
So
And I
I
hope
mean, again, he
Butler
could be
doesn't.
another Prasidh Krishna kind of a person. You play 2 games and not available for the next game. I mean, which could probably make their life easier to pick Rutherford or Phillips.
Yeah, yeah. And also speaking of Josh Butler, I hope that he bats a lot higher for GT than he was batting for England. Like
Yeah, I
Josh
mean,
Butler coming in at
I think GT has a
6 or
better
5
think tank
is just ridiculous.
than England.
Yeah,
I mean, he cannot be batting anywhere other than opening in T20s.
right, yeah,
I think he can get you hundreds at will. He has got that
yeah,
for
yeah.
at will
But
for he's got 4 or 5 hundreds in a season for RR.
correct.
So letting him bat at 3, 4, or 5 is I mean I can't say anything more than being insane about it. Mm.
And letting him go itself was very shocking for Ara. So
Yeah,
and
I mean, Samson had said that he's still not out of letting Butler go, but that so. I mean,
it's a
there are
calculation,
some
right?
things to it that you should not shuffle. I mean, there is always pros and cons to it. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool,
Okay, that's it
nice.
about GT. Overall, if you ask me, I don't think they would make it to the playoff in spite of all these things this time. Because more not because of they lacking anything, but I think there are other teams which could be
Better
powerful
team.
than them, is what I feel. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Great.
so we will. I think we'll
Who's
move to the
next?
next team if you don't have anything else to add, Jaga.
No, that's it. Let's move on.
So I think we will.
KKR. Let's
I
talk
would
about
love to go
KKR.
with KKR. KKR is a very interesting choice of captaincy to first talk about. I mean, just that we finished talking about Gujarat Titans captaincy of Gill. Here, I mean, the slide will show the order that they were picked actually.
Yeah,
So,
correct.
in fact, Rahane, they didn't even pick him as a player for when the first time he came in. He was picked last towards the end when the in the auctions when his name came up
Right.
again. So they definitely did not pick him as a captain. But I mean, a lot of talks were going on about Venkatesh Iyer. In fact, after the auction, my first thought was I I I didn't think they had a captain at all. I don't
Mm.
see Venkatesh Iyer captaining an IPL team this early, at least this year or next year. So I was very surprised who's going to captain. But then they came up with Rahane, which seems a sensible choice given the squad. But I do not think. I think overall there has been some uh, think tank loss there with losing
Mm.
Shreyas Iyer, Gambhir, and his coaching staff. I think they are a little.
Yeah, correct.
I think this is. I mean, running like headless chickens would be too far fetched to say. But I think picking Rahane, though he has won a lot of tournaments leading Mumbai, I am not sure if it's a good decision. And again, I that is about captaincy. Rahane, they have given it. Um, I don't know how he's going to pick 4 foreigners from this team going into the
Yeah,
foreigners again. Though they have Varun, Andrew Russell, Harshit Rana, all 3 of them were in the top 5 wicket takers last year in IPL. And of course, Sunil Narayan was there in top 10. And so they were
yeah,
always they are always a good bowling team. And last time they batted well also with Sunil Narayan opening. And I mean, explosive starts he gave every game almost. So that helped
right.
them. But this year, I don't know where Rahane is going to fit himself in the batting order because you have Quinton Dika, Gurbas, and Sunil Narayan in the top. I don't know
Yeah,
if Quinton or Gurbas, one of them is going to play and one of them is going to miss out. I don't know whether that is a good combination also. And of course, you have the Koetze or Prasidh Krishna of Kolkata Knight Riders, Andrik Nokia. So you never know when if he's going to be fit or not.
yeah.
So that is. I
And
mean,
I think
I mean, of course, there's no need to talk about their spin department in terms of
yeah,
Varun, Sunil. They have Mayank Markande also this time.
correct.
Moeen Ali, of course, if he plays. he had, but their spin uh, and
Kind of covered.
sorry.
It's kind of the spin is kind of covered. I
Yeah,
mean, they
spin is
have two.
definitely covered. And in the middle order batting also, I think they have a lot of people in terms of Venkatesh Iyer plays there, Ankrish Raghuvanshi plays there, Rinku Singh, of course, Ramandeep Singh, all of them that 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, everybody can hit
Right.
that time. So that is where I doubt where Rahane is going to fit himself into
Hmm.
this 11. So I mean, Rahane, last 2 years he did a phenomenal job of hitting extremely well, but that was in a
Yeah.
different dressing room where he didn't
Hmm.
have the captaincy pressures. He was just, I mean, all of us talk about how great. I mean, we've heard all players talk about how great the CSK dressing room is for players and things like that. So I think last 2 years, Rahane, we may not be able to see the same Rahane with the captaincy load on him.
Plus, the location is also different, right? I mean, most of the games he played would have been in Chepauk. Now it's going. Now most of the games are going to be in the Eden Gardens. Chepauk is very sprint friendly. Eden is kind of mixed. So I think that also comes into the picture. But in terms of just their overall squad itself, I was half expecting maybe they'll go for De Kock as a captaincy option. He's done it for South Africa in the past, and he's a certain pick for the most part. But yeah, it's interesting they went with Ajinkya, and it's difficult to see him bat anything below three. Anything below three, unless he is in amazing form, he's going to block out some of the other hitters like Rinku and Andre Russell and all these guys from actually flexing themselves. That's going to be very interesting how they go about the batting order, what their plans are. Like Moeen Ali could also bat in the top order. He's a pretty clean hitter, and I mean, especially against spin.
Yes.
If the teams that are opening with spin or bowling within the first 3 4 overs, then he would be a good choice as well. So they're very much spoiled for choice in terms of the top order. That it's like you said, it's a little difficult to see where Rahane fits in.
And on another good news for them is it could be a blessing in disguise is Umran Malik is injured and they have picked Chetan Sakaria as a replacement.
Right.
I was very surprised Chetan Sakaria went unsold in the auction
Hmm.
because he's a left arm fast bowler which gives a great variety and he bowled extremely well and in fact I remember him played a game for India also 1 or 2 games after a couple of years before a couple of years after his good showing with RR. He or at least he was in the squad. If not, he didn't play in the 11. He is. I mean, Umran Malik is I think is the perfect example of the Tamil saying which says Vegam Vivegam Allah. So I mean, it just means speed is not prudence.
Yeah.
So I mean, Chetan Sakaria is extremely good. I was like I said, it's a good call. It's a good break for Chetan Sakaria, who went unsold initially. I hope he gets to play in the 11 and he can make a difference. But overall, my thought is again for KKR, though they are the defending champions, I think they've lost the big core of Gambhir and his support staff and also Shreyas Iyer.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
may not make it to the top four, is my gut feel, unless somebody surprises us from this list. Hmm.
Yep. Okay. Great. Let's move to the next team, which is a pretty scary lineup. I think that's the only way we can categorize the Mumbai Indian squad. They seem pretty awesome across batting, bowling, all rounders. The personnel are looking fairly similar. Names are very similar with a few very good additions. And this is a team that was bottom of the points table last year. They were not even joint bottom, they were bottom just by themselves last year. So, I mean, I think it's a turnaround coming up, especially in terms of, especially if you look at the captaincy part, because we spoke about Ajinkya and Shubman earlier. Hardik, I think last year was a very challenging time frame. Acceptance was pretty much low, and maybe that also played a part into the performances as well. But now he's like pretty much a star in the last since what June, so around 8 months now. with the T20 World Cup and the Champions Trophy. He was contributing, he was batting, he was bowling, he was fielding, and I'm sure he was part of the leadership think tank as well. So, what is it about Mumbai Indians that you're looking forward to, and any other names that besides the usual suspects that we should be looking out for?
I mean, I think Will Jacks is a good buy that they've got for their middle order hitting because they let Tim David go. I mean, Will Jacks could be, I mean, Tim David could come down 5 or 6, who's kind of a Pollard replacement. But Will Jacks is not exactly that. He would play higher up, I think, 3 or 4. But I don't know where they will fit in 3 or 4 because Rohit Sharma, I am seeing Rohit Sharma mostly opening with
Yeah,
Rickelton. Rickelton which has always been
mostly
their thing, right? Except for
correct,
Ishan Kishan, they've always had one foreigner at the top, and then they stack up their foreigners down the order.
correct.
So and then of course you have Tilak Verma at 3, Sky at 4, and then Will Jacks will probably bat at 5.
Yeah.
So and they have this Naman Dher who's been scoring runs for Mumbai last couple
Hmm.
of years also. He has scored them good crucial runs, so he is there. Uh, but I mean, again, like you said, scary is the only word. I mean, if I go on look into that squad, wherever I see there is everybody is a super bowler or a super batsman, and I think I don't know if they will play Robin Mins as a wicket keeper or
Yeah,
Ryan Rickelton can of course keep. So
correct.
he's
Yeah.
also a wicket keeper. So if they go for, I mean, because if we hear that Jasprit Bumrah is not going to be fit for the initial games. So in that
Yes.
case, I think it is they might probably able to fit in Rickelton. But I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know how they will fit in 4 foreigners when Bumrah comes into the 11 because Bolt is a certainty.
Yeah.
Bolt and Will Jacks and Mitchell Santner. Oh, forgot to talk about Mitchell Santner.
Correct. Yeah.
And those 3 are a certainty. So if they have to play another fast bowler in Reece Topley or a batsman Ryan Rickelton, I mean it's a good problem to have for them. But whoever they place, I think this is a clear top 1 or 2 team in the table for the
Yeah.
playoffs is what I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they cope with Jasprit Bumrah not being around. It seems
They have
like pretty much.
Arjun Tendulkar to make up for that.
But that's, yeah, I saw a news report a couple of days ago. Not a news report, but some comparison of Jasprit Bumrah and Arjun Tendulkar. I was like, what are you guys even comparing? So,
That is so.
just for content, people will do anything.
Oh, I am very surprised.
At least,
Somebody
at least
writes
you
a
can
piece.
compare. At least you can compare Jasprit Bumrah and Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, in some way you'll be able to look at their mastery levels and excellence levels and things like
I
that.
think
But not
Sachin Tendulkar will have more fifers in ODI than Bumrah.
exactly. Yeah.
So I think Jasprit Bumrah's and Arjun Tendulkar comparison would be Arjun Tendulkar's father was a great cricketer. Bumrah's father was not.
Yeah, correct.
uh,
That's the commonality between them.
and
Good.
and of course they have picked Bevan Jacobs from New Zealand. I think New Zealand also didn't
Ah,
know about him. I think in the couple of years, the talent spotting that Mumbai does effectively is, I think, couple of years Bevan Jacobs could be a great batsman for New Zealand in in their cricket. The way, I mean, I think nobody, even New Zealand, nobody knew him, but they have picked, I'm sure. And I went and saw it as some of his records, and I think he is going to be a
maybe he himself doesn't know. Maybe
yeah,
so.
even in fact, he there was some news story about him calling his dad, and his dad was not willing to believe that he was picked for MI and all those things. So I think Bevan Jacobs could be. I mean, if he gets to play in the 11, if not this year, I think he could be a long-term prospect for New
Yeah.
Zealand and MI.
Great. Yeah, I think that pretty much closes things out with this set of three teams. Then, of course, there's Santner from a spin perspective. I mean, he's been in great touch in the last few series, Test series against India. Then I think even in Pakistan and in the Champions Trophy. So they're pretty decently settled. Let's see. I mean, it seems. I mean, it's a great team on paper. There's a fairly high chance they're going to do very well. Let's see how it pans
And
out.
also the 2 new picks, I mean, 2 big new picks for them. I mean, Bolt always bowls well in terms of Deepak Chahar and Santner. They have been part of winning IPL teams and they know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
to handle the big game
correct.
pressures. So a few of them are playing their their first IPLs, like in terms of Rickleton,
Hmm.
um, Bevan Jacobs, we spoke about Corbin Bosch. In case if he
If he
comes,
shows up.
if he comes after he's sorting out his issues with PSL,
Yeah.
so they are all playing their first IPL games, IPL seasons. Should be interesting to see. But again, the MI atmosphere and the MI, the other might in terms of what, like you said, the Hardik Pandya captaincy issue being sorted out, and everybody is
Right.
rooting for Hardik now. Last year, even the Mumbai fans were not happy about it. Right
Exactly.
now, it's not the case. So I think, like I said, they are easily the top one. They're going to be one or two. I would be very surprised if they are not.
Right.
Make up for the last couple of years of not doing much.
Great. So with that, that's a wrap for today. We will join you guys maybe a little later in the week, Saturday or Sunday, for the final episode covering the last three teams, and then the tournament starts on the 22nd. So everybody look forward to that.
Yeah,
Once
the
again,
tournament
thanks
starts on
a lot.
Saturday. The
Yeah.
you can look
We'll
forward to
get
the
it done.
third preview before the first game.
Yeah. We'll get it done on Friday or Saturday. And let's have a great tournament and looking forward to it. And stay tuned to the channel. Please keep supporting and subscribing us and give us the feedback. This is a very nascent venture. Literally, we are what, 2 weeks old, less
Two
than two
weeks,
weeks old.
less than two
So
weeks old.
just,
Hmm.
yeah, just give us all the feedback and we'll definitely act according to it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jaga. Please comment, like, share, subscribe for us to grow. Thank
Do
you
all
so
the
much.
do all the nice things. Yeah. On Instagram and the YouTube channel everywhere. Okay. Great.
Thank you. Bye
Thanks
bye.
again
Good
for your
night.
time. See you in a couple of days. Bye.